The Happiness Roundtable is a project that convenes happiness movement leaders and advances the happiness movement. Founder of the Gross National Happiness Center in Bhutan, author and professor Dr. Saamdu Chetri speaks about the 3 foundational changes that will bring about happiness, well-being, and sustainability in our lives and on our planet.
Today we live in a very paradoxical world where we have rules and regulations, for example, child right acts, marriage acts, things like that. This is all due to the deterioration of our values, and this begins with the division that we have between ourselves with ourselves, the spiritual divide. How can we connect ourselves with ourselves is one big factor. And of course, here when I say spiritual divide, self with self, I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about serving others and compassion. How can we create this in every human being on this planet? And we've been discussing about education as one way to go about. The other ways would be to have floors like this where we can talk and practice and participate together. The second divide that we suffer from is self and the society. So, we are not connected with society anymore because we become, like living in a cell. We're totally disconnected with the society. We don't know our neighbor anymore. How can we get back to this relationship, deep relationship of connections, back with the society as well, with our neighbors, with our friends, with others, within our own, even within our own relationship. And in Bhutan, we still have our 3 generations living together, but this can't be imagined in the Western world, in the developed world. How can we bring these mechanisms back? The third divide is definitely, of course, self with environment. We are not connected anymore with environment. We think the nature is out there to serve us. So we are not what we think we are. We are the nature, and we have forgotten our nature. So how can we bring back nature? Because 60 years ago, when we began our life with the industrialization, economy was only a small part of the society. The over-encompassing was the environment. Within environment was the society, and within society was the economy. Economy was simply how to manage a home with the scarce resources. But today, economy has taken over. And how can we go back to our own older systems? And I think that Merrily very well brought out. If we can tie back ourselves with the understanding of the indigenous people, we have a way forward. Of course, if you listen to the environmentalists, they say that the oil peak has already been reached between 2010 and 2014. But we still spend 400 years of nature's work in just 1 year by burning all these natural resources. And 76% of the carbon that we spew in the atmosphere is actually changing the whole climate of ours. So how can we bring this momentum to a halt? Now the World Bank has increased that figure of our biodiversity consumption to 1.6 times the biocapacity of our planet. There's so much to do for us, and glaciers are melting everywhere. Sea level is rising. In another 50 to 70, 100 years, it's envisaged that 200 million people will be homeless. Where are we going to house them? All these challenges, do we really need? If we can contain, do we really need a big car for oneself? Can we not combine resources? How can we change this perception in the humanity? This becomes a big challenge for all of us. And I think this is the way forward. If we can look into these 3 areas, self with self, how do you connect that, self with others, and the self with environment. If we have these 3 connections, 3 relationships, then we would achieve what we are really looking forward. Thank you.
Learn more about the Happiness Roundtable and hear more speeches from visionaries in the happiness movement at happinessroundtable.org.